You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
It's finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ghostfire Media's broadcast of the AOLL Sportsman Series at Las Vegas. It is the season finale here. We've got a heck of a battle going on right now for the championship with Blake Gordon, Chris Passini, really our two front runners. But first, let's talk about the track here before qualifying gets started and talk about where we're racing, what track conditions are like. So, Las Vegas, as I mentioned, we've got a 1.5 mile track, but what I've heard from many people so far is that this is going to drive a lot like a super speedway in some ways with the setup. It's very wide open. I think in dirty air you're going to see a little bit of difference there, but we'll have to wait and see. But as I mentioned over here, things to watch. We got a tight points battle. We've got, right now, Blake Gordon has a 3-point lead over Chris Passini. Now, 3 points is equivalent to about 3 positions on the track. That is excluding things like bonus points. The winner gets 5 bonus points, that sort of thing. So that could change in a hurry. We're close enough at this point that if Chris Passini were to win this race and Blake Gordon finished second, then Chris Passini is our champion, if I'm not mistaken, depending on how the other bonus points fall out. But the second bullet point there, I got opportunity. And what I mean by that is I look at people like Josh Laston, I look at people like Bernhardt, and they are 28 and 32 points back, which seems insurmountable when you consider the number of people in the race. But let's say those two guys, Blake Gordon, Chris Passini, get up there and start battling. Suddenly, they get in some sort of incident. Suddenly this thing could be very interesting if Josh Laston or Bernhardt were to get a win here. I think at this point, Justin Anderson and Brian McFerrin might be mathematically eliminated. I haven't actually broken it down, but I think they are. Those guys, if they want to have any chance, they're going to go out and get every bonus point they can. But I'm excited to see what will happen here. So let's go ahead and kick over to some of the qualifying, which happened very quickly. Apologize. Let's go ahead and switch over to that. If I can find the button for it. How about let's take a look at Josh Laston here. And we'll actually, he's about to finish. She just finished up his lap. I hate that. But we're running the Josh Laston in-car camera again. So able to see what he's seeing, and he's kind of looking all over the place right now. Just steering around, just messing around. Probably should have spent some time practicing his pit road entry since he struggles with that a lot, rather than just screwing around. But hey, who am I? To tell him what he should do. So let's take a look here. How about Mr. Adam Wood? If it'll go to the correct camera. Adam Wood just finished his lap sitting in 13th. Oh, 8th, actually. Adam Wood in 8th. See someone. How about Brandon Bernhardt? Here is a chase contender that we can talk about who is on track and is currently running his second timed lap, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, this is his second lap. So we'll see what Brandon Bernhardt's able to do here. And, hey, how about Mr. Brian McFerrin? Didn't get a chance to get any of his laps in, but also a chase contender. And, oh, wow, Brandon Bernhardt just qualified second. But Brian McFerrin sitting at the top of the board right now. So, man, I those are two guys who desperately need the points. I do think Brian is going to be a little bit out of reach for him. But Brandon Bernhardt, if he can get up here and get a win, he's got a realistic shot. But as they have currently qualified, let's take a look at our point standings down here. Should show up in the bottom right. This is what would happen if the race ended right now. So Chris Passini qualified one position ahead of Blake Gordon. Therefore, he has narrowed that gap to being only 2 points. But we can see there Brian McFerrin, he jumps up because of where he qualified. Josh Laston drops drastically because he qualified 21st. So we can see, even though it seems like there are things that are out of reach here and all of that I was saying, this thing is still very much wide open. So I am very excited about what we're going to see here tonight. Looking at, probably about a 22, 25 lap fuel run, depending on how you're driving it in the draft. So I'm ready to go here. We got 120 laps. It's going to be a long, long race. What that does mean is that some of these guys are going to, or all of these guys are going to have to pit without taking tires occasionally. So something to keep an eye on there. We saw that a few weeks ago where the timing of when guys took tires was huge. So that's something we're going to have to watch out for tonight as well. When are these guys going to take tires? When, are they going to do it early and try to take advantage of them early on? Or are they going to try to save them for the end of the race? Of course, cautions will affect that as well. There are a lot of options and possibilities that are on the table, especially when you consider that our points leaders are sitting in 9th and 10th. But let's run through the grid real quick. Move up here to the top. And in first, we have Brian McFerrin. In second, Brandon Bernhardt. Third is Kevin Moeller. And in fourth, Cody Mitchell. Fifth is Justin Anderson. And in sixth is Joe Dinsmore, who is not in the chase, so I don't know why it's showing that. Seventh is Teddy Weichel. And in eighth, Timothy St. Jean. Ninth is Chris Passini. And in 10th, Blake Gordon. 11th is Adam Wood. And in 12th, Ed Springer. 13th is Justin Rodden. And in 14th, Kyle Brooks. 15th is Marshall Hall, and in 16th, Derek Schilling. 17th is John Gordon, and in 18th, Randy Pepper. Go to the next page here. 19th, we have Kevin Haas, and in 20th, we have Greg Jurasio. In 21st, we have Josh Laston, and in 22nd, Mike Burgess. 23rd, we have Steve Dominy, and in 24th, Tony Pandon. 25th is Ross Gage, and in 26th, Kevin Schmidt. So we do have a few drivers for some reason are showing as being in the chase, even though they're not. I'm going to try to update that really quickly here. See how quickly I can do it. Yeah, we're on the back stretch. We're good. For some reason, it reverted that. So let's get that fixed up so you guys can see who is in the playoffs versus who isn't. So we'll move Mr. Dinsmore here, Mr. Wood, Mr. Burgess. All right, that should fix them up there. Just in time as well, as they are coming around here, about to take the green as the pace car pulls off. And Brian McFerrin leads the field to green. And they are off. Brian McFerrin gets a solid jump, but Brandon Bernhardt is holding there tight with him, not trying to give up that position. We're gonna have to see how with this package how that outside line is going to work. Typically at a mile and a half, you're not every mile and a half, but very often, especially on fresh tires, you're gonna want to be at the bottom for speed. But with these this package really requiring so much momentum, you know, you're going to see a lot of guys going up and trying to hold. Oh, Justin Anderson having issues there. Big one there. Big one. Wow. Let's take a look and see if we can see what happened, because that all happened very quickly. So I can't tell who that was that got into Justin Anderson, whether or not he was involved in starting it. And we're going to switch to our chase camera here, if I can find it. Chase camera, and take a look, see if we can see. Actually, let's do far chase. So we've got, that's Kevin Moeller on Justin Anderson's outside there. Justin, oh no, Justin, let's rewind that one more time, take one more look. Looks like Justin just, got a little loose there. Yeah, it just came around on him. Look at that. And then he corrects it. It rides up on him. He's still trying to hold it there, but no, yeah, he's sideways there at that point. Nobody made any contact. Poor Brandon Bernhardt gets caught up in that. Chris Passini as well. That is very unfortunate. That is three chase drivers right there caught up in that. Blake Gordon gets by unscathed. John Gordon there collected at the end. Man, tough break for a lot of those guys there. That is that's a lot of really good race cars that were caught up in that. So we'll go live here as we get Justin Anderson coming off of pit road. But man, Blake Gordon has to be loving seeing that. I mean, that is that worked out about as well as it could for him. I mean, I know, you know, look, I mean, if you're a driver, you want to be able to compete and beat people on the track. But at the same time, like, if you're racing for a championship, that's about as good a thing as could happen to you. And I'm gonna pull up the point standings here, unofficial as always. But we can see right now Blake Gordon has a 14-point advantage over Chris Passini right now due to that incident. So, I mean, and Passini's still in second. I mean, that is a huge advantage Blake Gordon has. Really early on for those sorts of issues. So yeah, we'll have to see here. Yeah, see what happens here. I'm still at kind of a loss for words because, you know, I was kind of expecting us to have this really incredible, you know, battle between some of these guys, but I mean, right now it's in Blake Gordon's hands. I mean, Passini was able to take his fast repair, I assume. He may have tried to save it, but there he is coming off pit road. I imagine he took his fast repair, so you know, he's in a rough spot and actually fell to third here as Brian McFerrin overtakes him. So really early, you know, for us to you know, already be talking about this, but we'll wait and see what happens. I'm hopeful that you know, we'll have some good racing to finish this thing up. I think we're still set up well to have some good racing. We got Brian McFerrin up here leading, Kevin Moeller in second, Teddy Weichel in third, Joe Dinsmore in fourth, and Blake Gordon in fifth. So lights on the pace car are off, and I'm going to switch to our blimp view for this restart so we can see this entire field as they get going. Oh, yep, there he goes. Pace car peels off. The leader controls the restart. And Brian McFerrin is off. Gets a good jump over Kevin Moeller. His teammate, Joe Dinsmore, right behind him, trying to overtake that second place position from Kevin Moeller. Go ahead and cut back to that. Watch these guys. And look, as Blake Gordon down there on that inside line, he's trying to take advantage as well. Blake Gordon trying to overtake Kevin Moeller for third position now. And it looks like he is going to have it. Yeah, and Blake Gordon now already on the back bumper of Joe Dinsmore there. Blake Gordon is trying to go somewhere in a hurry right now. If I were one of Blake Gordon's teammates right now, I would be telling him, like, hey, man, your competition's wrecked out. Just cool it a little bit. You don't have to be in such a hurry. But we've seen Blake Gordon throughout this season. I mean, he he wants to lead the race. I think he realizes if you're the leader, it's a lot harder for you to have it taken away from you. So he's going to try to get him to lead this race as soon as he can. I mean, he's already fighting for it, trying to get into Brian McFerrin here for first place. I mean, look at this. They are battling here. And, oh, yep, there he goes. Blake Gordon to the inside. And I believe he's going to have this position when we enter this next corner. But Brian McFerrin's saying not so fast. He's trying to fight him off here, using that momentum on the high line. And, oh, Blake gets a little squirrely there. Nothing that he couldn't control. But right now, Brian McFerrin has a slight edge. We see this happen a lot where you might be a faster car and you try to go to the inside, pass on the inside, and you just can't quite complete the pass because you can't use all of the track. And we're seeing that right now, I think, where Blake Gordon does seem to be faster than Brian McFerrin but cannot quite complete the pass and could be burning up his equipment and time trying to do this. All right, we got someone out there, John Dillinger, cheering for Adam Wood. Congratulations, Adam. You have a fan. Didn't know anybody actually cheered for you. But Adam Wood right now, where's he at? He's running in 16th. Back there with all of this. Oh, whoa, that's... We almost had an incident there. We cut back at just the right time. But we got some faster trucks back there trying to move through the field, and while we're back here, we're on Josh Laston. Let's take a look and watch Josh's in car here as he's trying to work on the 89 of Cody Mitchell. You can see Cody there to his inside, and I think we're very shortly going to see Chris Passini coming into view of Josh Laston as well. Thought he might try to take the inside, but Passini, what's he going to do here? Passini's going to, looks like, dip down to the inside with Adam Wood right behind him. Josh Laston taking that high line. So, love being able to bring this view to you guys because, again, this is exactly what Josh Laston is seeing right now. He uses a VR headset. We're seeing where he is looking in real time. And it's one of the, my favorite views we've got. So let's go back up here to our battle for the lead. Nothing's changed. It's still happening, although it looks like Blake Gordon might have the edge now. But Brian McFerrin just keeps fighting back on that outside. And, oh, they made contact. They made contact. Wow. That was, how that wasn't a wreck, I have no idea. That was incredible. Major props to all these guys. Those two guys up front, obviously being able to hold it together. But then, I saw Kevin Moeller almost lost it. But good racecraft, able to keep it together. And, man, these guys are still going. I am genuinely blown away by this. This is really good side-by-side action. And Blake Gordon wants this position real bad. And Brian McFerrin is doing everything he can to keep him from taking it. And look, whatever happens here, you're looking at Marshall Hall, Joe Dinsmore. They're ready to capitalize on either of these guys making a mistake as well. So I think if either Brian McFerrin or Blake Gordon lose position, which I am about to be proven incorrect, but I thought they might lose another position as well. But Blake tucks in behind McFerrin and is able to hold on to second position. So right now, let's take one more look at the points because this is what's important right now, folks. This is what we are looking at to decide a champion. And right now, Blake Gordon has a 16-point lead over Chris Passini. So Blake Gordon's sitting pretty right now. He is in good shape, and but right now, he's getting worked on by Joe Dinsmore on that outside. I think, Joe may realize here, like, hey, I saw what Brian was able to do, and I'm going to try to make the outside work against Blake Gordon as well. And he's sure trying to do it right now. He's right there next to him, and we're going to have to keep an eye on these guys tonight because I'm having some flashbacks to last year, but Hey, I just saw 3 wide back here. How about this? These guys going here 3 wide. Marshall Hall and Kevin Moeller, Derek Schilling. They were 3 wide, and man, that's a lot of fun. A little terrifying when you're in the car, but keep an eye on these point standings right here. Chris Passini has narrowed it down to 13 points. That is just due to Joe Dinsmore getting his nose in front of Blake Gordon. Every position matters. I mean, this is a huge deal. These positions, matter greatly. Blake Gordon also, was looking to get the lead earlier because he wanted that most laps led points bonus. So, to do that, you've got to lead laps. And Blake Gordon, I'm not sure if he's led a lap yet. I actually don't have that on my timing and scoring, but if he did, he hasn't led many. Certainly not more than, certainly not most on the track at this point. So let's while this is let's actually kick back here. Blake Gordon right now getting passed by Ed Springer. This is not to insult Ed or anything, but this is an unusual position for us to see Ed in. I've raced with him for years, or I should say the past 2 years. He's a fast driver, but he's not a guy that we typically see in the Sportsman Series racing in the top 5, but tonight he's looking like he's got the horses to do it. And he was trying to pass Blake Gordon there, but Kevin Moeller taking an opportunity to try to pass Ed now. And hey, Kevin's trying to pass Blake Gordon too. We got passing happening all over the track, folks. I mean, they are all over the place. And get back here a little bit further. Take a look at Derek Schilling and Kevin Haas side by side here. Kevin Haas up 13 positions, trying to move through the field, gain some spots. Because look, when you're a non-playoff driver, the only thing you've got, you're really focused on is, obviously you care about the, where you are in the points, outside of the playoff standings. But at the same time, you just want to go out and get a win. So can't fault him for that. But Kevin Haas, Derek Schilling, both up in the double digits of positions gained. 10 spots for Derek Schilling, 12 spots for Kevin Haas. These guys are, trying to prove they've got the speed to compete. Take a look back here. Marshall Hall and Mr. Timothy St. Jean are battling here, and they're side by side. And honestly, we're having side by side throughout the track, but it is starting to spread out a little bit. They're getting a little bit more single file, but we have to be thinking pit stops at some point, especially for these leaders. We did extend it out a little bit due to the fact that we had some caution laps, but at the same time, I'm expecting everyone from 10th and up to have to pit roughly 2 to 3 laps earlier than the guys further back, as they pitted when the caution came out. Let's see what else we can find here. Let's talk about Chris Passini. He desperately needs to gain as many positions as he can before this first pit stop. Now currently sitting 11 points back from Blake Gordon. He's definitely narrowed that gap. But if he did use that fast repair, which I believe he did, that's the only fast repair they get tonight, folks. And he is going to have to be very, very careful. He's racing for a championship, so he's still got to go for it. But while we are getting to that point, he has to be very careful. He cannot get caught up in another incident, because that could end his night for him. And we've got our first guys pitting. Tim St. Jean, Randy Pepper, Kevin Schmidt, all on pit road. And they are coming down here, and also Cody Mitchell, Mike Burgess, also on pit road. So we'll have to take a look here, see what these guys, where they'll cycle out. Oh, and we got our leaders, some of our leaders pitting. Brian McFerrin, Joe Dinsmore. It's moving so fast. Blake Gordon, Kevin Moeller. A whole lot of guys have pitted, and that now moves Chris Passini up to second. And, folks, you can see it on the points tracker right there. You know, obviously Passini still has to pit, but that moves him up to first. So, interesting strategy at play here. We'll have to see what they do here. But Passini just took the lead from Derek Schilling, who just pitted. So Passini currently sitting with a 16-point advantage. But again, still has to pit. So this thing, you know, these points are very temporary. But Passini's strategy at this point is to try to stay out as long as he can so that if a caution does come out, all those guys are trapped a lap down. And here Passini comes on the pit road. We knew that he wouldn't have much more. And we're going to see that gap, that points gap. Watch it just tick down as Blake Gordon just makes up those points as he gains positions. And pretty soon we should see those two swap right there as Blake Gordon will overtake Chris Passini for the points lead as they run. But Passini did get, you know, an all-important, you know, leading a lap bonus point. That's an awful camera angle. I apologize for that, folks. I was looking at my timing and scoring. And I was just about to cut to our leader, but our leader was Justin Anderson. He just pitted as well. So Justin Anderson, Adam Wood, all entering pit road here. And that'll mean back to the lead will be Mr. Blake Gordon. But once it all cycles through. But Chris Passini, I mean, he has done a great job here of working his way back up. You know, if I'm reading this correctly, he's going to be sitting third on the track when this cycles through, and he's not terribly far back. So I don't know what he did on pit road there. Yeah, he had to have. No, I thought perhaps maybe he didn't take tires and the others did, but no. I think it was just timing's all I can think of. But I mean, we can see here Chris Passini. If we go to our blimp view, Passini's right here. Second place, Dinsmore right there. And first place, Blake Gordon right there. So, look, we are very, very tight here. Passini's made up a huge amount of ground. Blake Gordon still has a 10-point advantage unofficially due to that 5-point winner bonus point. So, Blake Gordon still in much, really good shape, but Chris Passini, things are looking a lot better for him. So while we've got a moment here, let's hear from one of our sponsors, Guitar Addict.
For 20 years, the Guitar Addict has been your home for used and vintage guitars in the Daytona Beach area and at GuitarAddict.com. The Guitar Addict is your home for used and vintage guitars. Whether you're looking for that collector's piece or that beginner piece, they've got you covered. With names like Fender, Gibson, Gretsch, Ibanez, Martin, Taylor, and much, much more, the Guitar Addict has all the guitars you need. And bass players, they haven't forgot about you. They've got all the top names. Amplifiers from Friedman, Victoria, Fender, Boss, and many, many more. They also have the largest selection of used pedals anywhere in the Southeast. The Guitar Addict, located at 1672.5 Ridgewood Avenue, just north of Flomish in Holly Hill, Florida. Also, check us out online at GuitarAddict.com.
All right, and we are back. And Blake Gordon, still your leader. Joe Dinsmore in third. Chris Passini, Joe Dinsmore in second. Chris Passini third. Fourth is Kevin Moeller. And in fifth, Ed Springer. Hey, if I'm going to give a shout-out to people who have recovered well from that incident earlier, how about Justin Anderson as well? I mean, he was the one that caused the incident. But here he is. I mean, he's back up to 7th position. Again, probably mathematically eliminated points-wise, but look, he can still have a good finish here tonight and can still try to go for the win here. And I'll take a moment here, switch to Josh Laston. We're going to go to his in-car and going to turn off our points totals to do that. So take a look at what Josh is looking at. And Josh has been favoring that high line. Like, he's been up there a lot. But right now, Josh Laston running in 13th. Just has not had the speed so far tonight. But we've seen this out of him before, where he'll kind of just wait it out. And but right now, he might be waiting a little too much. Getting passed there by Ross Gage and Randy Pepper coming as well. So Josh Laston right now. Now, to be fair, those guys are on fresh tires, and that's something I have not pointed out. There are a few guys that took tires on that stop. So we've got Teddy Weichel, Adam Wood, Brian McFerrin, Ross Gage, Randy Pepper, Derek Schilling, Greg Juracio, Tony Pandon, Kevin Schmidt, John Gordon, who all took tires on their last stops. So they are going to be a little bit faster on track right now. And those other guys, I mean, the guys who did not take tires, their strategy right now is to just kind of wait it out and hold off and take those tires later. But I'll tell you what, right now, I was not expecting this with what Blake Gordon is doing, because with the way this package, was described to me, the way it was, very wide open, I did not really expect to see one driver kind of pull away like Blake Gordon has, and currently has almost a 3-second lead over Joe Dinsmore. So, Blake Gordon in good shape, and getting some comments here earlier from Matt Wagner, someone we Josh and I race with in another league, and he was talking about Josh being in VR. Yeah, so we got a few guys in VR. Josh runs in VR. I run in VR. I know Adam Wood used to run in VR. He stopped. Blake Gordon's in VR, and it's been really cool to be able to pull that perspective in. It's something new that we started a few races ago, and being able to see where the driver's looking, I think, kind of makes it a little more real feeling, and really love seeing that. So we're going to cut back here because we're starting to get a battle for second, and actually really second through fourth. Right now we've got Adam Wood, who just passed Chris Passini. Adam's on those fresh tires. He is going to be fast right now. He is significantly faster than those guys around him. And right, he's showing it. Look, Adam Wood has no problem passing for second. It would not surprise me at all if he's able to go up there and take first away as well. And look at Teddy Weichel as well. Teddy is also on fresh tires, and he's trying to take advantage of this as well. So, at some point, these tires are going to equalize a little bit, and that advantage will decrease to some degree. But right now, people like people like Chris Passini, even Justin Anderson, who's actually dropped back a little bit. What they are hoping for is that Adam Wood, Teddy Weichel can get up there and start battling with Blake Gordon, because if Blake's just able to run up there with no one taking away his line or anything like that, then it's going to be much harder for them to be able to compete with him. But look at already, if you look at that map up there, folks, I was saying earlier that there was a 2-second lead that Blake Gordon had. Already, Adam Wood has narrowed that to a second, and we're about to go under a second. He has massively narrowed that gap. And we're actually going to switch here to our gearbox camera. You can see Adam Wood just there slowly gaining. He's just catching up ever so slightly. Take a look, see what the lap time differentials are. Yeah, Adam Wood last lap was 0.8 seconds faster than our leader, Blake Gordon. So to say that those tires are an advantage right now would be an understatement. Adam Wood right now about to take over this lead. We're seeing it here. Adam's having no issue whatsoever making that move. And Blake's not going to fight him for it. That would be idiotic at this point to try to fight for that position when you got a guy with fresh tires. Let him have it, and then come back and I think Adam might have been trying to break the draft there. Yeah, so yeah, Blake's happy to fall back to second. No problem there from him. And you know what? He's probably about to give up third as well to Teddy Weichel, or give it second to Teddy Weichel and fall back to third. And on that note, let's pull up the points right now as they run. Blake Gordon sitting there with a 7-point advantage over Chris Passini. Then behind them, we've got Brian McFerrin, Josh Laston, Justin Anderson, and Brandon Bernhardt. So right now, I mean, Blake Gordon is not in trouble. I mean, he's sitting at the top. He knows he has an extra set of tires versus these guys that are passing him right now. I mean, he ain't worried at all. But they have to be considering, you know, we are coming up on green flag pit stops. And let's actually show you that here. Pull up our pit strategy. Let's take a look. You know, we look at Blake Gordon, ran 24 laps on his last run and is currently at 19. So they have to be thinking pretty soon they're going to be coming in again. And I really think it could come down to, you know, and actually Chris Passini is on pit road. So Chris Passini enters. That's an interesting strategy. I have a feeling he is probably going to take tires here. And try to take advantage of that differential while he can. We'll see if anyone else is going to follow him on the pit road. Nobody that time, no takers. I'm actually surprised that his teammate, Josh Laston, didn't come with him. We've seen those two guys run on the same strategy very often in these Sportsman Series races. But right now, Chris Passini falling back a lap, and did of course take tires there, so he's going to have speed, and he's going to be able to start making it up on track right away, and that's going to be a huge advantage for him. But if a caution were to come out right now, it would be absolutely devastating for his race. You know, he would likely take the wave around, but would be at the end of the field. And we see Justin Anderson, another playoff contender, also entering pit road. So Justin Anderson entering the pits. Cody Mitchell, Mike Burgess in as well. So we've got some strategy happening right now. Blake Gordon finally in. Joe Dinsmore in. So, you know, Blake is going to, you know, lose some time here to Chris Passini. May even lose the position to him, but he's going to have the fresher tires now, so, you know, you would expect, assuming he takes tires here. And then Passini, not going to be a sitting duck, but, you know, you would expect Blake Gordon to be able to chase him down. But we still got, you know, look, we still got a lot of guys that have not pitted yet. So we see Blake Gordon right there coming off the pits. Chris Passini coming around. Yeah, so Passini will likely take this position from Blake Gordon. I don't know. Blake might be able to hang on to it. So we'll have to see. I mean, he's doing a heck of a job getting off of pit road there. So Blake Gordon does stay in front of Chris Passini there. That is huge. That is a very big deal. You know, you would expect that Passini will not be able to chase down Blake Gordon now with the tire differential the way it is. But right now, I mean, Passini's holding strong, but you know, we saw him earlier. He was not faster than Blake, and now doesn't even have the advantage of you know, equal tires. So, yeah, I think that what Passini needed to have happen for that strategy to have worked really well for him was for that for Blake to have stayed out one more lap, and I think Blake knew that. So right now, we've got the remainder of the guys, for the most part, pitting. Adam Wood, Tony Pandon, John Gordon. But hey, look at who's leading. No surprise here. Guile Brooks is leading the race. He does this a lot. Going to play around with pit strategy and things like that. Let's actually pull up our pit strategy. And, Yeah, Gael right now is on lap 23 of his stint. I imagine he is pitting. Well, yep, there he is. He's coming in the pit road. So Gael Brooks is going to hand the lead off to... Well, Adam Wood is exiting pit road, but will Adam be able to stay in front of Blake Gordon, Teddy Weichel? Adam did take another set of tires there, so he is still down one set versus those other guys, and Teddy Weichel did not. So Teddy Weichel is on an equal number of sets of tires to the guys around him. However, he's on older tires now, so he's going to be struggling a little bit here. All right, so we'll kick that away. Let's take a look at the points as they are running. Not a lot of shakeup. Blake Gordon still your points leader unofficially with about, well, it just changed with about a 4-point lead over Chris Passini. And that makes sense because we came into this race with him being 3 points ahead. And he's only one position currently ahead, but, you know, trying to make a move here to make it more. And the moment Blake Gordon takes over that lead, he gets those 5 bonus points, and that makes a huge difference. So Blake Gordon trying to take this lead from Adam Wood. They are on equal tires, so this is not a tire differential thing. Blake just was able to get up there and take the position away, but Adam's tires are fresher, so, I mean, he's going to be able to battle back here a bit. So that is going to complete all of our pit stops for that cycle. We're at lap 54 of 120 as we approach the halfway point of this final race of the AOLL Sportsman Series. And first we have Blake Gordon battling off Adam Wood right now. And we'll have to see. Chris Passini is not looking terribly competitive right now. Might be sandbagging a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me at all. He's knows that he's gonna have a difficult time going up there and competing with Blake at this point. So let Adam sit up there, compete with him, battle, and maybe you can take advantage of it. But Passini has no reason to worry. The other guys in the championship standings have no reason to worry either. We have not even passed the halfway point yet. It's a long race tonight, folks. We're going to be here for a while, and I'm enjoying it. I'm having a blast tonight. So we'll have to see what will shake out here. And on that note, I am going to take a short commercial break, and we'll hear a word from the league itself.
The AOLL Racing League began racing in the early 90s with Papyrus's NASCAR Racing and has grown over the decades, now racing on the iRacing platform. The AOLL has 3 divisions. The TNT Series Developmental Division for our beginners.
We're going to cut that short, folks. We have a caution. Caution is out on the track. Let's take a look, see if we can see what happened. I'm seeing Justin Rodden and Kevin Moeller possibly. Oh, let's actually rewind a little bit because that started a little late. So we've got Justin Rodden on the inside there. Kevin Moeller in the middle as they're going 3 wide there with Kevin Haas. Oh, yeah, it looks like Moeller may have just come down just a little bit. Made contact with Justin Rodden. And Johnny Downey collects the end of that. Oh, man, Josh Laston. I wish we had his in-car camera during that. He skirts through it. So we are under caution. It's our second caution of the evening. I have to think these guys are not going to pit here. I think the opportunity to pit may have already passed. We'll see if anybody is a taker here. But Blake Gordon, is he teasing or is he actually coming? He's in. Blake Gordon, he is well known for doing the fake outs, kind of dropping down and then pulling off at the last second. But He's committed this time. Chris Passini behind him and a whole bunch of others. I am curious. I have to think they're going to save their tires at this point and not use a set, as our TV camera there is awful. But, you know, we'll see. I'm going to watch I believe that was a fuel-only stop. Yeah, that had to have been a fuel-only stop. Passini as well. So those guys just topping off the fuel a little bit, and that's not really going to hurt them much here. Still relatively fresh tires, and the only guys that stayed out were Adam Wood and Gael Brooks. So, and I believe Marshall Hall there is a lap down. So yeah, I mean that's not too bad. They are very fortunate that those other guys came in with them. So we will see what happens here. You know, again, since they didn't take tires, this is not a situation where suddenly they are going to be a lot faster than these guys in front of them or anything like that. They just topped off on fuel, so we might be able to go a little bit longer before we pit. Should have about 7 more laps of fuel versus Adam and Gael. I have to admit, I'm a bit surprised to see Passini follow the exact same strategy as Blake Gordon. I mean, I know, you know, that may have. It's possible that eliminated a stop. I don't think it did. Actually, it might have. That might have eliminated a stop for them. So that's probably why he followed. But at the same time, you know, I have to, you know, you haven't really been up there competing with Blake Gordon tonight. Unless you get the win, just finishing one spot ahead of him is not enough. So I'm surprised he didn't try the opposite strategy. It's a good thing he didn't, because if he had, then had those other guys all come in, he would just be you know, sitting right in one spot ahead of Blake Gordon with without the topped off fuel. But yeah, I am interested to see if he's got something else up his sleeve. So we just reached the halfway point. This is a very long race tonight, as it should be for the finale of the AOLL Sportsman Series. And I believe the lights on the pace car will turn off this time by. And then we'll be able to get racing again, folks. All right, lights on the pace car are off. Adam Wood is our leader, followed by Gael Brooks, Blake Gordon in third, Chris Passini in fourth, Ed Springer in fifth, and in sixth we have Joe Dinsmore. Those are your top 3 rows. Take one more look here at the points as they are running. Blake Gordon 1 spot ahead of Chris Passini, so he has a 4-point advantage over him in the standings. So, you know, again, when you're not the leader, it's a little bit easier to calculate these things because it's just, you know, difference in positions. But and you see there for a second it flip flop because I think Chris Passini got a nose in front of Blake Gordon, but that's how quickly it can change here as these guys move around on the track. Go ahead and hide that as we are getting ready to go green here. Adam Wood controlling the field from that outside line, choosing the outside, and he's off. Gael Brooks does not get a fantastic start, but Blake Gordon back there pushing him, trying to get everything he can out of it, and is making it work. Blake Gordon able to safely push Gael Brooks past Chris Passini, which he really needed to do. But Passini here trying to battle to take that position from Blake Gordon because he needs it at this point. Passini really needs to be able to gain some track position because despite the fact that this is a fairly wide open setup, track position has mattered tonight outside of fresh tires. Oh, and we see Blake Gordon there making a move for the lead. Blake is not hesitating at all. He has shown over and over that he will make whatever move he has to make to take this lead away. But Adam Wood's not just going to hand it to him. Adam also running on the same aged tires as Blake Gordon. So, and with slightly less fuel, that probably won't make much of a difference, but it could. So, Adam Wood, not just going to just lay over. We saw this earlier with at the beginning of the race with Brian McFerrin there on the outside and Blake Gordon on the inside. And despite the fact that Blake looked like he was faster, Brian was able to hold him off by just taking away that exit. And right now, Adam Wood is doing precisely that. I have to wonder if his teammate Brian McFerrin gave him a little bit of advice, but those guys are battling really well. Chris Passini there trying to use that apron to his advantage, gain every little bit he can. And, honestly, I mean, we're not at a super speedway, but you have to think that Gael Brooks being as tight on Adam Wood as he is has to be helping Adam right now. As we see Passini go to the outside as well. Perhaps, I'm not sure if Joe just stuck his nose in there or if Passini thought maybe, hey, this outside line might be able to get something going and might be able to get around Blake Gordon here. But I'll tell you what, this is, we've seen this over and over. It's just, you get to the inside of someone and not be able to make the pass. It stalls out when you get there. And Passini is getting worked on by Joe Dinsmore right now. We'll just cut back there just a hair. Brandon Bernhardt right there had some early trouble, but he's fought back. And this top six right now looking very, very strong. And I thought for a second there Bernhardt was going to make it 3 wide, but got up behind Chris. Oh, Bernhardt hits the wall. Bernhardt tagged the wall there and is able to keep it going, so we are not under caution. So we'll cut back to our leaders here. As I feel like it's we're like watching watching an episode of Dragon Ball Z, honestly, such as Joe Dinsmore's paint scheme. We cut away and we come back an episode later and the exact same thing's happening. Nothing has changed. So these guys, I mean, look, I'm sure they're having a blast right now. I mean, you're sitting there and you're just thinking like, man, I just need a little bit more. And I'm sure Adam is talking to Gael right now, and he's like, "Come on, man, just give me a little bit. Just give don't hit me, but get as tight on me as you can, especially on those straightaway, because I need every little bit I can to try to make this work." And he keeps making it work on the outside, but then on that corner entry, Blake just gains so much of it back. Oh, they almost make contact there. That was tight, but they were able to keep it clean. The last thing Blake Gordon needs to have happen right now is for there to be contact. I mean, if he has to use a fast repair, he would be in bad shape, and it'd be a much worse situation than what Chris Passini was in earlier because of the fact that we're later in the race, and we saw Joe Dinsmore there cut to the inside. I have to wonder if they're perhaps trying to cool the radiators a little bit. Because it sure didn't seem like he was trying to break a draft or anything like that. So I do wonder if perhaps that was just kind of cooling the engine off just a hair. But we see here Adam Wood is able to take this position away finally from Blake Gordon. I mean, and I say take it away, I mean, it was Adam's originally, and Blake was trying to take it from him. But Adam Wood with a heck of a defense, able to fight off Blake Gordon. And honestly, this is very reminiscent of what we saw, again, earlier with Brian McFerrin. Where Blake was just side by side for several laps and just could not take it and then fell back to second. So one more time, let's take a look at our points. Blake Gordon sitting there with a 6-point lead over Chris Passini. And speaking of points, let's take a look at our in-car driver, Josh Laston. Pull over his in-car. He's got a lot of action in front of him here. As we can see, they're 3 wide directly in front of him. Probably a bit of a pucker moment for him. And they're still 3 wide. That's that's got to be nerve-wracking as they finally get that settled, it looks like. And he's got John Gordon to his outside, who is blinking a little bit. But, yeah, so that is Josh Laston there. Come back up here to our battle for second as Gael Brooks, who I believe, nope, sorry, he is on the same age tires as Blake Gordon here. So they are on equal tires, but he's battling here. And I'm going to pull up our pit strategy here because we got to start talking about it, right? I mean, we're quickly approaching that point again. Especially for these guys who did not pit. You know, Adam Wood, Gael Brooks, they have to be thinking about pitting here in the next couple of laps. The caution period did help them, but I still do not think they can make it past like lap 78 or so. Well, before we have our pit stops, I am going to try to finish our AOLL commercial real fast because I need another glass of water because this has been a fun race to call. So we'll cut it over to commercial, and I will be back with you guys shortly.
The AOLL Racing League began racing in the early 90s with Papyrus's NASCAR Racing and has grown over the decades, now racing on the iRacing platform. The AOLL has 3 divisions: the TNT Series Developmental Division for our beginners and those getting back into racing, the Cup Series for our veterans and Class A licensed drivers, the Sportsman Division racing the Gander outdoor trucks with drivers from the TNT and Cup Series. You can catch all of the AOLL action here on Ghostfire Media.
All right, and we are back. And while that was happening, Mr. Adam Woods entered the pits. And Gael Brooks now coming in as well. So those 2 guys have entered the pits, and Blake Gordon, our new leader. So Gael and Adam may be out of tires at this point. They might have one more set. I can't remember how many sets we had. But I would think at the very least, regardless, they will not be taking a set here. Although, maybe they are. Gael Brooks with a long stop, so let's see if I can find Adam Wood here. Adam Wood with a much shorter stop, so I think Gael took tires. Adam did not. Yeah, and Johnny said 3 sets. Yeah, the problem is I can't remember how many sets they've already taken. And unfortunately, it doesn't show. It shows the last pit stop time. It does not show all of their pit stop times. So been having to try to keep track. Oh, and Josh Laston entering the pits. And this is something I've been waiting for. So we can watch in VR and see if he messes up his pit stop. And we see him pulling in here and gets a stop. Perfect. Beautiful, Josh. I was kind of expecting to see him mess it up there. So you see his pit crew running around putting those tires on. And he is out. Solid stop there by Josh Laston. And I'm actually going to leave it on his in-car view here for a second because I want you guys to see what it is like exiting the pit stops, pit road here for those who have not run iRacing before. But under green flag conditions, like you're having to push it really hard, and you'll notice there's no banking here. I mean, it's flat. So you've got to push it as hard as you can without getting up on that banking, which will, that banking too early, which will get you a penalty. So, good stop there by Mr. Laston, and we'll cut back to our leader, Mr. Blake Gordon, currently under attack by Joe Dinsmore. Along with Laston there, Passini pitted as well. So Passini, who was running with those top guys. Let's see if he took. Passini did take tires. So and here the rest of the leaders come. Joe Dinsmore, Blake Gordon. Hey, look at who we got leading up here. It's Mr. John Gordon. We went from one Gordon to another. Flipper himself is leading the race. He's not going to appreciate me calling him that, but I had to. Honestly, this might be the first race I've called where John Gordon's led the race, and I'm very excited about that. Been racing with him in the TNT series for a long time now. Good to see him up here leading the race as he is coming on to the pits right now. All right, and that means our new leader, Mr. Teddy Weichel. And guys that have not pitted up top, we got Teddy Weichel, Greg Juracio, and Brian McFerrin. But I would expect those guys to be coming here shortly. If we pull up our stint length, yeah, they're pushing it right now. He has to be coming right here. There he comes. Teddy Weichel entering pit road. Is Brian McFerrin going to follow? Oh, he does, but he has a little bit of trouble getting it woed up, but he gets it stopped, and it is looking like our new leader is going to be Mr. Adam Wood. Adam did, and when it cycles through, we have not cycled through yet, but it's just about to. But Adam did not take tires that stop. Had to sacrifice a stop somewhere without tires, and so Adam out there with mini lap old tires, and look at Guile Brooks behind him, fresh tires. Chris Passini behind him, fresh tires. Blake Gordon back there, fresh tires. So. These guys are going to eat him alive. So, for Adam Wood in his position, what he has to do right now is just to minimize the damage. He cannot, just first of all, he can't get a wreck. I mean, he can't try to battle a position so hard that you get spun. But at the same time, he can't just lay over and let him have it, which he did here. But it's a tough. When they have that much of a speed differential, it's tough to do any sort of battling. And we saw Guile Brooks, we saw over and over Blake Gordon earlier trying to make the pass and just could not do it. Guile with those fresher tires just made it look it was no problem at all. But Chris Passini is the guy I am keeping an eye on right now. Look, I'm not counting Guile out of this at all. Guile's in a solid spot right now, but Passini is right now got a decent little lead over Blake Gordon, about 2 seconds. I do expect that to narrow because Blake has fresher tires, but I think that Passini finally got what he wanted and was able to get in front of him on the track. And we're going to pull up our points here. Right now, yeah, Blake Gordon still got that points lead because he's only one spot behind Passini. But we're narrowed down to 2 points separate these guys. And if Passini can get up there and take the lead, it does not matter where Blake Gordon finishes. If Passini can take the lead and doesn't have all of the other bonus points, which I don't think he will, because we're talking most laps or most positions gained. Let's see here. Passini and Blake would be about equal. Yeah. If Gordon finished second to Passini, they would be equal. If they were to even get the most positions gained, and not someone else on the track. Lap led, they'll each have a bonus point. Most laps led, Blake may still have a shot at that, but he had a 3-point lead, 5 points right there. So I mean, man, we are possibly talking about if Passini can take the win here tonight, we could be talking about 1 point separating these two guys. So And right now we're seeing it already. I mean, Passini able to get around Adam Wood. That point differential is now closed to 1 point. 1 point separates our championship contenders. This is what we wanted to see all season, as we get 30 laps to go to determine a champion, and we have 1 point separating first and second. I think we're going to have one heck of a battle here. I know that Passini's going to lay it all out on the line, and I know that Blake Gordon is as well, because look, Blake Gordon's looking at this as like, hey, I've had, you know, how many wins has he had this season? I think 15 wins this season, something absurd like that. Yeah, he's had 15 wins this season. I mean, Blake's looking at it like, look, I deserve this. I earned it this year, and I can't fault him for feeling that way. I mean, he's had 15 wins. But you still got to win it where it counts, and Blake Gordon is going to have to get up here. He does not have to win the race, but he cannot let Passini win the race, and he cannot let Passini have too much of a gap in positions on him. So easiest way to ensure that doesn't happen is just go out and win the race yourself, and I think that's the mindset Blake Gordon's had all night. So we are at lap 92 of 120. I'm going to, one more time here, pull up our pit strategy. Are we going to... yep, so just one more stop to finish this thing, assuming we stay green. However, I mean, someone like Chris Passini might be stretching. No, Passini should be fine. They're all fine at this point to make it to the end. Yeah, they should all be good to go here. My math was wrong at first. So, yeah, I think you look at one more stop, and that stop, the timing of it is going to be crucial. And, you know, really just nailing it. I mean, being perfect with that stop is going to be important. And, you know, one thing I want to point out here, I was talking earlier about the fact that Blake Gordon was 2 seconds behind Passini. Just 1 second right now. What Passini needs to have happen is for Joe Dinsmore and Blake Gordon to start battling. I mean, he needs those guys to really go at it. Because right now, I mean, I'm looking at lap times on the track. I mean, Blake Gordon's almost a half second faster than Passini. Now, Passini might be sandbagging a little bit to try to make it so that if Blake tries to pass him, he can do the same thing everyone else has done to him tonight, which is just kind of hold the outside line and not let him pass you. But right now, I mean, Blake Gordon narrowing that gap in a hurry with Chris Passini. Passini is not narrowing the gap with Gael Brooks as much. It was about a second. We are about 0.8 seconds. The timing of this could be really interesting, because if Blake gets there and starts trying to pass Passini prior to Passini catching Gael, then, you know, Passini may be able to just sit there and, you know, try to stall him out. But if he catches Gael first and then has to try to make a move on him, Blake Gordon may be able to take advantage of that and just pass without, you know, getting put in that stalled out position. So timing here is going to be crucial. I mean, we are talking about so many things tonight that are going to come down to timing. When you come in the pit, how this, you know, potential pass is going to work out here. A lot of things we're looking at, folks, and taking a look here, see lap times. Yeah, I mean, Blake Gordon right now is probably the fastest car on the track. Yeah, I believe he's fastest on the track. So timing, that's really what this comes down to right now. It's going to be timing, and I'm actually going to switch over to the Brandon Bernhardt roll bar camera so we can see from Blake Gordon's perspective. We can see what this battle is going to be like. Look, if I'm Blake, I'm going to hold off for a little bit. I'm not going to try to make the move too early, because we've seen what's happened with him getting stalled out on that high line. And honestly, it might be even exacerbated by having someone in front of him. But, you know, Blake also realizes the stakes, and he knows that if he does not win this race, then there's a chance he does not win the championship. If Blake Gordon wins the race, he wins the championship. That's all there is to it. Like, there's, no discussion after that. But right now, I mean, Passini not being as aggressive as we saw with Brian McFerrin earlier and with Adam Wood, really gave Blake a ton of space there. Did not contend the position that hard. And right now, Blake Gordon sitting in second. If the race were to finish right now, Blake Gordon wins the championship. And those are some guys there, I believe, who are exiting pit road. They have taken their final pit stops of the evening. And, man, timing for that worked out much better for Blake Gordon than it did for Chris Passini. Blake was able to get around those guys pretty quickly. And, I mean, they're going to catch up with him in a second, I believe, Yeah, Ed's got fresh tires here, so Ed should catch Blake pretty quickly. But Passini, still is going to lose a lot of time here just due to the timing of that. So really unfortunate for Chris Passini, but a great turn of events for Blake Gordon. But look, this is where it's about to swap, right? Blake Gordon coming down. Oh, Passini's going to try to come down as well with him. And it's clear Passini is trying to make this a, one-on-one battle. He's not wanting tire differentials or anything like that. He is wanting this to be which car is the fastest, and let's just settle it from there. And they are taking their final sets of tires. We'll see who gets off pit road faster. I believe, Blake Gordon should have the advantage. He does. Look at, I believe is that Derek Schilling there? I believe it's Derek Schilling as well. So Derek Schilling is a lap down. So Blake Gordon with the initial advantage. I have to say I'm a little shocked that Passini did follow there. I'm always of the opinion, look, I at no point has Passini shown that he is faster than Blake Gordon tonight. So in that situation, I feel like you differ the pit strategy. You do something different than what our leader is doing. Sorry there, losing my voice a little bit as we've got 17 laps to go. Blake Gordon running in second to Mr. Brian McFerrin, who should have to pit here very shortly. Switch it over to Brian. Take a look since he is our leader. And that's the difference of tires right there. Our leader getting passed by a lap down car, Derek Schilling. And also Josh Laston. They are getting their laps back. Actually, I'm sorry. I believe Derek's still another lap down. But Josh Laston gets back onto the lead lap with that. So we are just waiting on Brian McFerrin to come in and pit here. He's still out. Take a look at the pit strategy here, and yeah, it's because he was a little bit off cycle there, not much, but a little bit. So he should be coming in shortly, but does have a little bit more he can run. And gonna take a look back here a little bit because Gael Brooks just took what is going to become the lead away from Blake Gordon. Gael showing he's got some speed here tonight. Obviously he's won a Sportsman Series race already, but I mean he's not a slouch by any means. He's showing that he's got speed. It's not just on fuel strategy that he can win. Even if he does not win this race, I mean, he's been a contender all night. So we see Chris Passini trying to work on him as well. Passini has to realize that time's running out right now. And, he's got to, he's going to make a move quickly. I mean, this is, time is now. You can't sit back. You can't sandbag. If Passini wants a chance at this championship, he cannot let Blake Gordon win this race. If he wins, then he's won the championship. So this almost feels like the NASCAR point system a little bit right now, and Brian McFerrin does pit, so this is a battle for the lead right now. And I honestly, Passini is right there with him. He is not giving an inch. And, honestly, we'll have to see when the time comes. Is Passini going to be willing to give him a bumper? You don't want to see anybody wreck someone else. That's. Oh, Passini trying to make the move here. This might be a little early, to be honest, because the last thing he wants to have happen is to get stalled out like we saw Blake Gordon earlier. I possibly would have waited a little bit longer and then tried to make that move. But Passini, I guess, saw an opportunity, and he's trying to take it here. But it's what we've seen over and over. The driver gets to the bottom line and just cannot make the pass work. And Blake Gordon knows that more than anyone. He's had it happen twice to him tonight. If I were in Passini's shoes, I think I maybe would have waited just a little bit to do this. And just try to get my nose ahead as we cross start-finish line. So, 11 laps to go here. We'll see what he's able to do. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless at this point because this honestly might be what we see through to the end of the race, as these two guys are just side by side. But I believe with that outside line, Blake Gordon is going to have the advantage, at the finish of the race. He's going to have the momentum, and I have a hard time believing that Passini will have much of a chance, to win this unless he gets up. We saw it right there. If we ended the race right there, Blake Gordon wins the race. Blake Gordon wins the race. Blake Gordon wins the championship. So, I'm not even bothering to pull up the points at this point right now, folks, because right now, this is it. Whichever of these drivers is able to win the race, and Passini tucks back in, that's probably the best decision he can make right now because he is not able to complete that pass. But yeah, whichever driver wins this race, if it is one of these two, they win the championship. It's that simple. If Blake wins, it's definitely the case. If Passini wins, it's a little bit more complicated. We'd have to do the math, and it depends on the bonus points. But right now, Blake Gordon has to be feeling pretty confident, but also probably feeling a little bit nervous. When he's got the guy that is hounding him for the championship right behind him. Honestly, you couldn't have written it any better than this, folks. This is perfect. To see this end like this, I hope it ends like this. I hope it ends with these two guys battling each other. Whether that's for first or whether it's for second, as we see Joe Dinsmore and Passini, I think, realized he could not let Joe Dinsmore get to his inside. If Joe Dinsmore got to Passini's inside, I think the race would have been over for Chris Passini. He wouldn't have been able to drop down and try to attempt a pass. So Passini had to make that work. And this time, if we were to end, Passini, that was tight. I think Gordon still had the edge, but I think that outside line is going to be the line you want. But Passini didn't have the option to take it because Gordon's there. Yeah, and Johnny said don't count out Dinsmore. Oh, yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not counting out Dinsmore. He obviously could win this race, but then all of a sudden the championship battle gets a lot more interesting because without those bonus points, actually one of the best things that could happen for Blake Gordon would be for Joe Dinsmore to win this race, because then it comes down to points, and Passini would have to make up 3 points. And I don't think that would happen with the way they're running right now. So, lots of things at play here, but the big question mark is, how hard is Passini going to press this issue? How hard is Blake Gordon going to press this issue? And then, of course, how hard is Joe Dinsmore going to press it? Joe Dinsmore is not a playoff driver, but he has said, he's going to do whatever it takes to win. So, you can't fault him for that. So, how hard are each of these guys going to push it as we've got 4 laps to go here? Passini tucks back in. Joe Dinsmore tries to go to the inside. Dinsmore is Dinsmore's on the inside of Passini there. But once again, that outside line does prevail. 3 laps to go, as we've got a battle for the championship shaking out here. Blake Gordon still our leader with Chris Passini in second. Joe Dinsmore third, followed by Kyle Brooks. These 4 guys all trying to win this race. 2 guys at the front also trying to win a championship. Joe Dinsmore looks like he got a great run there, but not enough. 2 laps to go. We're at 2 laps to go, and Passini is turning up the heat, it feels like. I think Passini's best option right now is going to be to wait as long as he can and then try to duck in on turn 3 and try to use that momentum to possibly take this lead away at the start-finish line. I don't think that he's going to be able to pass him on the inside. White flag is out. We have 1 lap to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Blake Gordon running that inside line. Chris Passini right behind him. What are they going to do here? Will Blake Gordon try to throw down a block if Passini tries to get to his inside? Passini dips down. Passini not able to do it. Blake Gordon takes the lead out of turn 4. Blake Gordon is going to win this race. Blake Gordon is your champion. That is unofficial, of course. We'll need the official point standings, but I can't think of any way that Blake Gordon would not be the champion right now with the points lead coming into this race. Heck of a race by these guys. Passini gives him a little bump, but I think that was completely out of respect. Heck of a race there by Blake Gordon. All right, well, we will go through our results as soon as they're ready. We are still waiting on the results to click through. There they are. Okay. And in first, Blake Gordon. Second, Chris Passini. Third is Joe Dinsmore. Fourth, Kyle Brooks. Fifth is Kevin Haas. And in sixth, Josh Laston. Seventh is Justin Anderson. And in eighth, Cody Mitchell. Ninth is Brandon Bernhardt. And in 10th, Steve Dominy. 11th is Brian McFerrin. And in 12th, Timothy St. Jean. 13th is Teddy Weichel, and in 14th, John Gordon. 15th is Ed Springer, and in 16th, Greg Gerasio. 17th is Derek Schilling, and in 18th, Adam Wood. 19th, we have Ross Gage, and in 20th, Kevin Schmidt. 21st is Mike Burgess, and in 22nd, Kevin Moeller. 23rd, Tony Pandon, and in 24th, Marshall Hall. 25th is Justin Rodden, and in 26th, Randy Pepper. All right, how about we bring up our race winner? Hey, Blake, it's Carl in the booth. Get a copy?
I sure do, man. What's going on?
Hey, man, I was saying near the end of that race that, you knew that if you won the race, that there was no points calculations required or anything like that. If you won the race, you would win the championship. And we're still waiting on the official standings as far as I know. Oh, points are posted, so I'm going to assume you won the championship. How does it feel?
Pretty awesome, man. Again, it's been a lot of fun racing with everyone this past season. Obviously, everyone in the playoffs was super strong, and I knew coming into this race, Passini has been so good at these tracks and races where you need strategy to win it. And like, he won Pocono earlier this year doing the same thing. He won Texas just a few weeks ago on a strategy race. And I knew tonight with the box we were put in from the start, just with the fuel mileage and the tire sets available, it was going to be a strategy race no matter what. So I've been working my ass off since last week trying to figure out how to, cover just about any scenario in this race. You can ask Brandon. I've been bouncing so many strategy ideas off that guy, just, seeing if they make sense and being prepared for anything that could have happened. Because really, I mean, this could have been a huge gamble. I felt like this race was a lottery. I mean, first of all, the racing was like, it was so hard to get anything done. And I knew from practice I needed to be on the outside to hold him off. I knew giving up the bottom meant losing the race, or giving up the high side meant losing the race. So I knew what I had to do at the end to fight him off. I knew I needed to pit when he did. I don't know if he did this on purpose or if he saw what was going on, but that last pit stop I had Ed and Ross on my inside, and he called out he was pitting. So I did what Maverick would do. I hit the brakes, let him fly by, and hit pit road right in front of him, and came out together, and we had that nice fight there to the end. So again, hats off to him on a good season. I hope that last stint was a lot of fun to watch, because it was tough.
Well, it was a lot of fun to watch, and you were talking about not wanting to cede the outside and all of that. We saw with Joe Dinsmore, he was able to get up there and get on the inside of Passini at one point, and I was thinking, I was like, Passini's got to get down to the bottom, or else he's not gonna have an opportunity to pass you. But on that note, I wanted to ask you, this is something we saw over and over and over tonight. You tried to pass Brian McFerrin on the inside and just sort of stalled out for lap after lap after lap. Same thing happened with Adam Wood. So you said you kind of had an idea that was going to happen coming into this, but what was the problem down there? Was it just that was it just because you couldn't get the run off on exit, or did the car change when you had someone on your outside?
No, that was exactly it. Not being able to take the run off the bottom. Whoever was on the outside somehow got you're running in the middle, right? So you're not even high near the wall getting that run, that momentum off the wall. But you just couldn't match their speed on corner exits. So I knew every lap, if I could just run the top and I had a guy, on the bottom, I should be able to, get momentum off the corner. And I also had contact with Brian and then Adam earlier, and then I think I picked up right side damage, which ballooned the arrow on the car. So after both of those, they pulled ahead of me, and then I was just tight from there. So
yeah, well, I mean, looking, I mean, I said it during the broadcast. You had 16 wins this season. I think that kind of like when they talk about other sports, they say ball don't lie, and in this case, I mean, in the end, I think you deserve to win the championship tonight, and you won it. So hats off to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll send you back to your team. Let you celebrate.
I appreciate it. Now, see if we can go 2 for 2 Sunday night at what is it, Homestead? The Cup Series?
It's Homestead. So, yeah. Yep. Which I think at this point should mostly be a given. But we'll try to keep the audience in suspense.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting a wisdom tooth pulled in the morning, so we'll see how I feel Sunday night. So.
All right. Well, I said I'll put you back with your team. It's just your dad, so I'll put you back with your dad to celebrate.
I'm sure he's proud of me.
All right.
At least one it is. I don't know.
Thanks, Blake.
Yep. Thanks, Carl. And hey, man, thanks again for doing the broadcast all season long. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast. Love covering you guys. So
thanks, man.
Have a good one.
You too. See you.
All right. That was Blake Gordon. Let's bring up Mr. Chris Passini. Hey, Passini, it's Carl in the booth. Get a copy?
Yep. Yes, I do.
So, I'm on admin chat, right? And Johnny just messaged in the AOLL admin chat that it was funny listening to Carl tonight. He sounded like a pissed off owner when Passini pulled out to pass Blake at 12 to go. and I might have, because I thought you might have been doing it a little too early, but I know that your hands were kind of tied there. So just talk through tonight, like what obviously that bottom line was difficult to make anything work, but what were you trying to do there at the end to try to take a win?
I mean, we were on the same tire strategy. We took our last set of tires with 20 to go, but literally this is just glorified plate racing in these trucks. You didn't really feel the wear until you ran a second stint on the same set of tires. once you get to around like lap 30, lap 40 of your run is when you actually started to feel it. So if you were only doing 20 laps, you could just go balls to the wall. That's why around 12 to go, I tried making a pass just to see, all right, what is it like down here? How much do I have to lift to, like, what is he going to do when I'm alongside him? Like, how tight is he going to pinch me? So it was just kind of seeing what was going to happen for like the last 2-3 laps. But there was pretty much, when you have a setup like this, you're at a stalemate. Whoever's on top is just going to come out and win that fight. So
Well, I have to ask you, and it's probably a bad question to ask, but did you consider at any point giving him the bumper?
actually, I did kind of dive it in a little harder in that last turn in 3, but I didn't even I got close, but I wasn't there to kind of tap him. But
I got you. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I was gonna do it anyway in the last lap.
Yeah. That I was wondering there because it looked like that last move you tried to make. You looked like you didn't quite have enough steam, but it looked like you were trying to do something there. So I want to ask you a little bit earlier. I saw at one point, Joe Dinsmore was coming up. Had a great run tonight. Was coming up on your inside. Had a good run. Was it going through your head like, hey, I cannot let him have the inside, or and then I'll end up losing the race, or was that really not in your mind?
Well, he popped his nose down on the backstretch to show 3 wide, and that's when I actually almost made contact with Blake because we were just about to enter the corner, and I was giving him the bottom because I knew he pitted 1, maybe 2 laps later, I think, than we did. So he was probably going to get around me on the bottom regardless. It's even 1 lap fresher tires, it's a big difference just on fall off, even if you're full throttle, because you start getting a little more wheel input and you lose some acceleration. But I mean, if he was going to take it, I was going to let him go, but then he kind of backed off, and they just kind of let us battle it out, which is nice.
So Blake said something there at the for that last pit stop. He had some guys on his inside, and you called for the pit stop, and so he hit his brakes and then dove down with you. Was it in your?
I know. I thought about not calling it out, but I had Joe behind me. I'm like, if he's gonna run the bottom, he's just gonna run over me if I don't say nothing. So I was debating too if I should go one more lap and let Joe by me and then just duck in without saying anything.
So was it going through your head at all that Blake had 2 guys inside of him when you called it, or was that just not something you really noticed?
Well, I saw the position he was in. I'm like, even if I do call it, there is a good chance I might actually get in with him getting stuck if he's going to try to follow me. But he ended up making it in, so.
I got you.
Because even a 1 lap difference when you're at the end of that run, I think it's maybe like a 1/2 to 6/10 fall off. If I get that 1 extra lap of an undercut, it's going to take him almost that whole time of that final run to try to make that back up. So it's.
Well, yeah, and then if you could have held the outside, it
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
No. It seemed like you had the right call there for pit strategy. Just, Blake did a heck of a job reacting. But hey, still a really solid season, man. I know that you started kind of late, but still 4 wins on the season. Overall, finished second in the points. So I think you probably can't complain too much about that.
Yeah, no, that was fun considering I didn't even think I was going to make the playoffs with the amount of starts that I had, but that was cool.
Yeah, well, hey, man, it was great talking with you. I'm going to pull up Joe here as he finished third and send you back and let you celebrate with Josh.
All right, thanks, Carl.
All right, and let's pull up Joe Dinsmore. Hey, Joe, it's Carl in the booth. Get a copy?
Hey, Carl. How's it going, man?
Hey, good. Really solid run for you tonight.
Yeah.
Finished third. Looked like you had enough speed there to contend with these guys.
Yep.
Talk us through those last few laps. 'Cause, we saw a few times you were you kind of stuck your nose in there with Passini a little bit, but
Yep. Yeah, I was just trying to spook him when I did the whole 3 wide situation, and I lost too much momentum. because I wasn't going to take them 3 wide, knowing that they had a championship under the belt. But I mean, I was going to attempt to pass them. I had every intention of trying to win tonight, regardless if they were going for the championship or not.
Well, so you were really fast tonight. I mean, we've seen. I mean, obviously all season you've been fast, but what do you think about the track and the setup tonight? Was able to help you run up front with these guys.
No idea. I mean, the setup was super stable, so I don't know who. I think Johnny made this thing, so. But the setup was super stable. It was smooth. I'll tell you, the one thing that really did help is tires did matter, even though it didn't really seem like it. The runs weren't really super long enough to make a difference, but the draft helped. This isn't necessarily the type of track that suits my driving style, so because there's not much throttle control and braking, so I'm happy with the way I ran tonight. I can't really describe the setup. It was really comfortable everywhere on the track. You could run high, you could run low. One thing about running low was if you didn't have someone pushing you behind you, though, you could not carry enough momentum to pass somebody if there's some other people on the top. So, unless you have fresher tires. Well, I don't even think my tires were fresh enough to do that.
Yeah, so
even being one lap.
So you finished the season position 7 in the standings. That's the best of the non playoff drivers, or I should say the non final 6. I mean, so really did the best you could in the final 3 races here.
Sorry.
I was going to ask, as a whole, how do you feel about your result this season?
Well, let's see. Average finish. Well, if you take out, you got to do. I mean, my season all in all, I think was really great. I've had, especially in the trucks, for whatever reason, the trucks seem to work out very well with me. And being able to pull off, the top 5s like I do, and especially the top, top 3s in the trucks, I tend to do really well. I don't know what in the truck. I mean, I finished I have the most top 10s in the truck series, tied for 3rd for top 5, which isn't bad at all. And then, the average finish, I'm 3rd amongst the ones that ran the whole season. So I'm pretty happy with my overall season.
Yeah.
I'm not a high winner. I haven't been for a while. I'd like to fix that. In my early days of racing, that definitely was winning every week. So I do miss that, but I'll take a challenge of having to beat Blake and Justin and Greg and Passini and and all the others like Sean Comedy, which is a great person that has shown some major improvements over the year. You got Brandon, which is, man, he's really improved. You got this Carl guy. He's going to be racing next year. What the hell? I don't know what's going on. So, and then you got Josh, and we do have a pretty decent field that can win every week, and that's probably going to show next year. That we'll probably hopefully start seeing multiple different winners that we did in this season.
Yeah,
on Wednesday. Quite a few weeks we went with different winners.
Yeah, I mean we've got a whole lot of people that won just one race, and it's been a great fun season to call, and I'm not gonna say that I'm not a little glad that it's over. It's gonna be nice to have my Wednesday nights back for a little while, but it's been a pleasure to call, and it's been fun watching all you guys out there, and I appreciate all of you putting on a show.
Yeah, thank you, and really appreciate you taking your time out of your night to do this for us. It makes it wonderful to know that my family comes and looks at it, and yeah, again, thanks a lot. Appreciate it, and I look forward to next year running here with everybody.
Yep, I think we're going to have a great season next year. I'll send you back down with your team. Thanks again, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, well, that is going to wrap us up, and I will run through our final point standings. I actually realized I just had Blake's face up for all that. Forgot to switch it out, but our final point standings, Blake Gordon wins the championship in the AOLL Sportsman Series. Chris Passini second, followed by Josh Laston in third. Justin Anderson, Brendan Bernhardt tied for fourth, and then Brian McFerrin in sixth. So that will wrap up this broadcast and our season. Don't forget, Sunday night at 8 p.m., Josh and I will be on the call for the AOLL Cup Series, final race of the year for the championship. That'll be a lot of fun, but that's all we've got going on. Oh, and we have the podcast Friday night. We have the podcast on Friday night, GFM podcast, so tune in to that. So that'll wrap us up here for this evening, and I did want to say to everyone watching that has watched this season, thank you very much for watching. We've appreciated your viewership, and I've had a blast calling it for you guys. And with that, I will say so long.